Hello. I made a recent public outcry to Gallaudet University regarding some racist names attached to some of the buildings and architecture. And I got to thinking, wait a minute, I attended Alabama School for the Deaf. I graduated in 1997 as an alumni. I decided it was time for me to do a little research into some of the names behind their architecture, their buildings. And I was disgusted when I came upon the history of Graves Hall. Alabama School for the Deaf's campus is named after Bibb Graves. Let me tell you a little bit about who he is. Bibb Graves was the 38th governor of Alabama. He served 2 4-year terms. He was also the leader of KKK from 1920 to 1930. It is time for me to express my outrage. Black Lives Matter is not going to tolerate this inappropriate display, and his name must be removed. How appalling. I'm also concerned about the Black deaf students. They should be getting an appropriate education, and yet they have no idea about that name. I watched Elrisa Mornay, and I agree with everything she said. We should replace the name in honor of Howard Blue Eyes Cook. Let me share a little bit about his story. He was born in February 24th, 1925. He entered Alabama School for the Deaf, well, actually School for Negroes, and it was for deaf and blind students in Talladega, Alabama. During his time, Black and white students were segregated in the schools. After he graduated, he became employed by Alabama School for the Deaf. And he worked 52 years until he retired. Are we ashamed? Let's look at another example. My heart aches for the indigenous people, and I feel connected to their plight. Silent Warriors, they need to change their logo. Silent Warriors, they need to change their logo and their name. We stole their land. We caused the indigenous people to feel pain. And yet we have no idea about the history behind this logo. It needs to be changed. It doesn't represent Native American people. Here, their land was stolen. The Native American people have been traumatized by past slavery, marginalization. We need to show respect and honor. And it is time for Black Lives Matter to show support.